Save anyway. Use. All right, I am live and I'm live. Hey everyone, happy Friday. Let's go here. All right, happy Friday. Hope everyone is well. Come on, let's go here. And why do I? Oh, I'm glad. The good thing I remember. Boom. And let's go here. All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope your day is going well. For those that are unaware, happy Juneteenth. Whether you're aware or unaware, happy Juneteenth. What is going on, everyone? I'm getting everything ready. Hope your day is going well. Let's see. So this is fine. Let's make sure everything locks in. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good news. All right. Good work. Good work. Okay. Go here and let's turn this thing down. Let's turn this down. Oh, and let's turn that sound down. Down, 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 down. All right, go here. I go like that, and there I be. Good. All right, so I'm just making sure that I am responsive. All right, if you're here already, put a chat in the comments, which is great because sometimes I usually give it a few minutes to get people in, and I also like to just share it out. So let's go ahead and see if anyone is see who is poking around. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's good. So showing us so our today is five boundaries you shouldn't break. It's going to be how five boundaries really you shouldn't break. Five boundaries successful people like yourself should not break. Okay. So we are going to get started. Give it a few more minutes so people can come in. Also, when you get a chance, be sure you are forwarding this to those there. Yes, it's Friday. It's 5 p.m. Some people even have the holiday. So if you did, glad you're here. If you stopped in, glad you're still here. Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to do one other thing. Let's go here and let's refresh. Good. All right. And so let's let people know that, yes, I'm live. All right. That's good. And I'm also sharing this out as well. So just give me a minute. You'll thank me later. Patience is a good thing. S- today was a bit of a busy day. So I'm looking forward. I've got things. I think I'm ahead of the curve. So that's a good thing, meaning that I've got certain goals that I do on a daily basis. And what I do is I make sure that my goal is to finish them by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it's 5:04. I'm usually on the air for an hour, maybe a little less. Then after that, the goal is then to probably then to complete everything. If I complete everything by 8, I may just do that. So that's a positive thing. So be sure to put in the comments where you're hailing from. Everything's good here. Okay, that's good. Glad you're here. So it's five boundaries you shouldn't break. Let's go here. That's right. As I says, I'm putting this out to every end, to everyone that I can, making sure people are in the know. All right, that's good there. All right, so what's going on, people? What do you have for the weekend? Anyone want to put out their weekend The weekend plans, are you working? Are you traveling anywhere? Okay, doing good. So I think that's good enough for now. All right, who is here? Someone popped in. Hey, Hayden. Hope everything is well with you. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm getting it started. So our topic today is 5 boundaries that you shouldn't break. So let me just, I've got my notes up, and thank you so much for coming in. And so let's jump in. And for those of you, if this is the first time seeing me, this is I'm Coach Trev, the accountability coach. My tagline is the foot in your backslide, making sure you don't backslide. So I go live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So set your schedules. Be sure to follow my profile, posting often, and let's come on. Let's move forward. All right. If you're here, help me out with the taps and share and comments. All those things help visibility, help to push this out. So I want to thank you all so much in advance for all the things that you are doing. So let's jump in. First question I want to ask you is how many goals have you lost because you didn't have enough talent? Right. How many goals have you lost because you didn't have enough talent? Not many. You're probably gonna think, no, not many. I haven't lost because I didn't have enough talent. So next one is how many goals have you lost because you didn't have enough intelligence? Probably same answer, not many. Now, let's think about this. How many goals have been delayed because you didn't protect your time, your energy, your focus, or your priorities? Hey, Gihan, that's the question. Now we're talking. Now, one thing I've learned over the years is that success isn't just about what you start. Success is about what you protect. And so every meaningful goal you have requires a boundary. So, and if you don't create a boundary for your goals, life will create one for you. So today we're talking about 5 boundaries you should break that successful people refuse to break. So let's jump in and have that. All right. And feel free to comment on. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. So now, number one, let's talk about the first boundary that you should protect. And so the first boundary that you want to protect is your calendar. That the 5 boundaries that you shouldn't break. That's your calendar. You want to protect your calendar. Or you can protect your goals, you have to protect the time needed to pursue them. So if you think about it, every goal that you have, it requires time. Every single dream requires time. So time is such an essential factor. Every relationship, every business, every healthy habit that you have, it requires time. So the problem is that most people treat their calendar like a suggestion and not a commitment. Hey, Jake. Ah, thanks for joining. And so, and so, when you think about this, people will schedule meetings, you'll schedule appointments, you'll schedule lunch, but you won't schedule the work that moves your life forward. Schedule all these things, doctors, dentists, all those things. See, successful people understand the important thing. If it matters, it belongs on your calendar. Hey, Amanda, thanks for stopping in. Um, it's not something that's going to be in your head. It's not something that's going to be on a sticky note. It's going to be something that's going to be on a calendar. So put the wish list away. Focus on putting it on there. Because when something gets scheduled, it becomes real. So that's everything you do. All the important activities that move you the needle forward. So once something becomes real, you're more likely to protect it. So that's the key thing. Hey, Jamie, thank you for stopping in. Because what you want to remember with this one is what gets scheduled gets protected. Okay. So think about this. What's the one thing you need to schedule that you've been leaving to chance? What are the goals, the activities? What are those things that you're scheduling that leave to chance? Okay. This makes sense. Put a yes into the chat. All right. Good and good. All right. Now, once you protected your time, the next thing you want to think about is how is that you need to protect your energy. All right. So that's boundary number two. You got to protect your energy. You can have plenty of time and still accomplish nothing if your energy is depleted. So, not everything drains us equally. There are going to be certain things, certain people too, certain people that are going to put you put you in a particular state. All right, and so let's go here. Make sure we're engaged. Okay, good and good. So there are certain things and certain people, and not everything is created equal. There are going to be certain conversations you have that drain certain things, certain topics that come up. You roll your eyes, and then you're like, "Oh gosh, here we go with this." There's gonna, as I said, certain people that drink. Could be family, could be friends. Um, Not gonna say who else. Happy life. Certain habits that drain us, and there's gonna be certain environments, certain areas that we put ourselves in that drain us. So successful people learn that managing energy is just as important as managing time. So you got to put that in perspective. Because if you're exhausted, if you're distracted and overwhelmed, even a free afternoon won't produce much progress. So so the things that you need to pay attention to, you've got to pay attention to one, to pay attention to sleep. That is a key thing. A lot of people will miss out on that and say, well, you know what, I'll make up for it later. It'll come down the line, something later. No, sleep is such an essential factor because it brings you healing. It allows you to reset. It allows you to realign. That's one of the key things too. The next thing you want to pay attention to is nutrition. What are you putting into your body? How is it impacting you? Is it giving you energy? Is it draining you? That's one of the key things there. So, so you've got to think about what is it? What are the foods that are doing it? If something immediately puts you to sleep, that's something you may say, you know what, let's cut back from that during the week. Maybe you save that for the weekend when maybe that's your time you take off. So nutrition, you got to pay attention to that. Exercise, what are you doing for that? Are you walking? Are you running? Are you moving? Are you taking a class? Do you go to the gym? Are there's a certain routine that you're doing? So exercise, that's an important factor to your energy. Recovery, that's it's not just sleep, but it's also being able to rest the mind. That's one of the key things too, because that's where your source is, how you process, how you move forward. Next is mental health. What are some of the challenges you face? Do you have a crippling anxiety? Are you depressed? Do you have low self-esteem? Do you feel stuck, lost? Any of those things. You really have to pay attention to that because that's not a state you want to live in. And you gotta pay attention to your stress levels. What are the things that really are your triggers that blink? So you've got to think about that. So successful people, they pay attention to all those things and they understand that energy fuels execution. So you have to think of you can't pour into an empty cup and you can't build a meaningful life on an empty tank. Right? So hey Dosha, thank you so much for stopping in. So the question you gotta ask yourself is what's draining your energy right now? And once you've thought about that, now you can say, take steps to protect your time and protect your energy. So it's it's your time is the first boundary that you got to protect that. The second one is energy. All right. Because once you protected your time and energy, then we're going to move on to the third boundary. The next battle becomes deciding what actually deserves your attention. Now, now, the third one is you've got to protect your boundaries. That's what successful people do. Everything may be important, but not everything is equally important. That's one of the key things. Hey, thank you for stopping in. There are many people. This is where a lot of people struggle because they want to give everything equal opportunity. They try to do everything. They try to say yes to everything. They become people pleasers. They chase every opportunity and they pursue the idea. That's something, so they're putting their time in. So if everything is a priority. If you think about it, if everything is a priority, then nothing becomes a priority. But if you're a person that chases everything, that says yes to everything, takes every opportunity, you pursue everything, then you kind of wonder why you're exhausted because your energy is being depleted. So successful people, they realize that that focus requires sacrifice. That's right, it requires sacrifice. Every yes creates doubt. Every commitment costs something. Every opportunity has an opportunity cost as well. That's why they're constantly asking these questions. They're asking, one, does the action that I do align with my goals? Yes, does the action you do align with your goals? Next, does this move me forward? And then they ask, does this deserve my attention right now? That's an important thing. So, because when you're thinking about this, priorities create direction, and direction creates momentum. All right. If it's landing for you, if it's landing, definitely. If it's landing, put a one into the comment. All right. Yep. One, good and good. So, the key thing to remember is this: you don't build a great life by doing more. You build it by doing what matters most. That's okay. So, ask yourself this: what's your biggest priority right now? Think about it. Take a moment, take a breath. Feel free to comment, put it there. Let me just check here, make sure all everything is running well. And so now, once you know your priorities and you're willing to protect them from other, you're willing to then protect them from other people's agendas. So that's one of the key things. So now, what's the next boundary that you need to protect? That you shouldn't break. You gotta protect your standards. That's what successful people. You protect your standards. Now, the quality of your life often reflects the standards you're willing to uphold. So, when it comes to your goals, standards determine your behavior. They determine how you act, how you moved, how you your reaction to certain things in certain circumstances. Once you have your behavior then will determine what your habits will be. Once you've got your habits, your emotions, your routines, your habits, then they determine your outcomes. So, what you want to do to be successful is you have to stop negotiating with yourself. Right? You got to stop lowering the standard every time things become inconvenient. Now, you got to raise that standard because it's not about convenience, it's about growth. And remember, growth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary for you to make progress and move forward. So if your standards change, because you have to think about it, if your standards change every time life gets difficult, they're not standards. So they're instead of standards, they're more like preferences. So successful people, when it comes to these things, they understand that consistency matters, follow matters, integrity matters, and discipline matters, and most importantly, they're keeping. You got to keep promises to yourself. That's how you raise the standard. That's how you protect your standards. So think about this. What's one standard you've lowered that needs to be raised again? What are you giving yourself a break? All right. Maybe I should put some of this down. We'll see. Next, and it's going to be a short one for Friday. So the fifth one you want to ask yourself is once you protect your standards long enough, something else becomes incredibly valuable. And what that is, it's peace. Yes, it is peace. So success without peace is a poor trade. So let's think about this. That when you have more money, yeah, it's great. You got more influence, more opportunities, but you've got to think about this. All the things that are more, are they costing you your peace? They don't become great if your peace is the sacrifice that's laid out. That's not the move. So successful people learn that eventually that peace is productive. And so, because if your mind's constantly overwhelmed, everything suffers. your decision making suffers, your focus suffers, all those things become a loss. So that's why you've got to become intentional at what you consume, meaning that what is the things that you take in. And when I mean consume, it doesn't mean just eat, what you partake in, what you listen to, how you hear. And you've got to think about who you listen to. What are the things you decide to worry about? What do you give your attention to? Because at the end of it all, um, peace or peace creates clarity, and clarity is what's going to improve your decisions. So protecting your peace isn't selfish; it's strategic. So so something accountability has taught me is that goals don't usually disappear because people don't care. Goals disappear because people don't protect them. Because regardless of what you think, life is always going to be busy. It's just like that. Life is always busy. People always need something. Distractions always exist. The question is, what are you willing to protect? What are those things that you're willing to draw the line at? Because whatever you protect tends to grow. So it's your time, your energy, your standards, your peace, those things, and whatever you neglect tends to disappear. Because really, it comes down to that. If you have a goal and you don't have a boundary, then really it's just a wish. You've got to protect your goals. So even though it's a short one, let me challenge you today. Don't pick all five of them. Just pick one. You know, Pick a boundary that you need to strengthen, one area that you need to protect. You know, and you're basically you're thinking and you're pausing, saying, "What's one thing that you've allowed to slip?" Now, it could be your calendar, could be your energy, your priorities, it could be your standards, it could be your peace. Uh, you have to think about that. The quality of your future is often determined by what you're willing to protect today. So those are the five boundaries: your calendar, your energy, your priorities, your standards, and your peace. Now, if this helped you, be sure to follow my page and share this live with someone who you think needs stronger boundaries. All right. And feel free, drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I'll definitely read out and we can have a discussion. Now, if you're ready to stop drifting and start moving forward with accountability and purpose, feel free to reach out directly for a free strategy session. Message me directly and I will definitely connect with you. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Big Jack. Thank you so much. And so I'll leave you with this. Your future is built by what you protect, not just by what you pursue. So, all right. So those are the 5 points here. Thank you all so much. Um, yeah, yeah, that's my talk for today. It's a short one for Friday. Um, I need to ice my back and I need to heat it because I am on the mend and I am healing and my back is better. So to confirm the betterness of it, it's following the directions as well. Also, staying hydrated. So be sure that you take a note, make a note of this is that I go live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me see if there are any comments there. All right, we're good. Okay. Okay then. Then do yourself a favor. Have a great weekend. And more than likely, willing, I will see you all on Hey Scarlet Rose. Hope everything is well. To everyone on the other side, I will see you all on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If anybody's watching, happy Father's Day. Wish you all well. Yali, thank you so much. And be sure to make a note. Take a note here. Let me know if you have any questions. As I said, message me if you're interested in a free strategy session. If you want to find out about our mastermind, which I start next week, um, or helping private clients, anything along those lines, just message me directly, and I will give you information and let you know how you can connect the time and find out more information. All right. So let's pause there. All right.